Okay, I think this book is a must read. Why? Because it will teach you about chess in the Soviet Union times. For example, it seems that Korchnoi was really hated because he wanted to play hard and didn't follow the party instruction, the Communist Party instruction. In that time they were obviously supporting Karpov, and that was the problem. Here in this book there is even a story, and this is quite interesting, very interesting story, where uh, Dvoretsky asked for a tea brought by a master, a local master. This guy go to get the tea. The barman making the tea speaks to Petrosian laughing. They give him the tea. Two girls block the master and ask him for the tea, saying that he can go to get another for Korchnoi. These girls drink the tea and they have diarrhea. So clearly in the Soviet Union it was kind of dangerous and problematic, right? Because if they could do this to an opponent, who knows what they would have done to Fischer, right? If he would have played again. And that's kind of scary, but true. Now, the book has many games. He has also the recall of many of Dvoretsky's students or people who met him and so on and so forth. There are many stories and anecdotes that are very interesting. As always, I will show you a game. Please remember, this guy made very, very deep analysis. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna show you them on the board. Buy the book and enjoy it, but it's too big. Some analysis like are 2 pages long, which show that he really did his homework, but it's kind of boring, I think, to see it on a review, right? Let me know, eventually give me feedback, and if you want, yes, I will put another game with all his analysis. Okay, the game I'm going to show you is game 8, is a Sicilian defense, played between Mark Dvoretsky as white and Mikhail Seitlin as black. This is a Moscow championship from 1972. Okay, 19. The notes are by Ernesto Inarkiev. For this book I commented on 4 games: Dvoretsky Tseilin, Moscow 1972, Dvoretsky Vasyukov, Leningrad 74, Dvoretsky Polugaevsky, Yerevan 1975, and Dvoretsky Kolmov, Kutaisi 1978. I want to note that Mark also analyzed them in some details, and these analyses are also used in my comments. However, I would like to convey first of all my impression of these battles. In games played several decades ago, it is most difficult to comment on the opening. It is difficult to understand what the opponents were guided by, what they knew. You inevitably evaluate decisions from the standpoints of today's knowledge. In his coaching work, Mark Dvoretsky focused on the middle game and endgame, and even treated the opening with some disdain, contrary to modern trends. Therefore, I will not linger over the opening, but will focus on the subsequent confrontation. e4, c5, knight f3, e6, knight c3, a6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, d6, g3, bishop d7, so it was probably to go here, bishop g2, no, it doesn't want to go there, knight c6, interesting, castle, queen c7, this is a typical square for the queen, but generally it happens when the king is here, no? Right, for attacking, I don't know why. In fact, he says more popular is knight f6. Yeah, it makes sense. Rook e1, bishop e7, and now there is knight takes c6. White himself clarifies the position in the center. The alternative was then a4. B takes c6 is not a good move, it's dubious. An ambitious decision, black strengthens his pawn structure in the center, but in return his pieces lack square for normal development. For the time being, more common is then bishop takes c6. Okay, so this is more common now. And here there are a couple of examples of games played with bishop takes c6. Knight a4, an accurate move, white immediately begins to create threats, whilst black is not developed. Rook b8. Black has no countable answer. On the natural 11, knight f6, there followed 12 c4. So if black would have played this, there was c4, and then it gives a little note with other moves, okay? Now white plays c4, which is dubious. A stereotype decision, here black is ready for such a turn of events. The energetic 12 b3 leads to a clear advantage. So this would have been the move that white should have played. Obviously, the problem is we don't know when Inarkiev has commented this game. So how did he find the move? Did he use an engine? Okay, here it says black has an unpleasant choice, either to allow c4, c5, or himself play c6, c5, weakening the d5 square. He decided c5. And now it's white turn, which plays knight c3. A sensible decision, the knight has nothing more to do on a4, and it remains an open question where the bishop c1 will be most useful. But in the opening, it is important not to just to develop your pieces, but also to prevent the opponent's pieces occupying good squares. He could have kept a small plus with bishop f4. So it seems that instead of this, he could have played this, and maybe it seems it's a little better. I don't know. Okay. So after bishop f6, an ambitious attempt to not only develop but also to seize the dark squares. It looks suspicious. In childhood we are taught not to move the same piece repeatedly in the opening. Black breaches this rule, but it succeeds move by move. He stands worse after the natural knight f6. Okay, so f4. Black is behind in development and his king is still in the center, so white needs to open lines and start concrete play. Bishop d4, bishop e3, bishop takes e3, rook takes e3, and rook takes b2. And here there is a diagram, okay? This looks like playing with fire. One would like to see black complete his development, not meddle in such murky waters. But the rook is very active on b2. And so this move is not a mistake. Okay, and he shows another line instead of rook b2 with knight e7, okay? But that gives a clear advantage to white. So rook d3, knight f6. Defending the pawn tactically and continuing to contemplate the game. It seems that if he played knight e7, the pawn d6 could fall, okay? Rook c1, and rook b4. Here it shows that white has a good compensation if black would have played rook b6, and he continues with rook d2, rook takes c4. Wow, his pawn does not play a great role, whilst black continues to play with the same pieces, not having finished developing. It was time to castle. And so it was better if you castle, take, and bishop c6, okay? Okay, so what happened now after rook c4? Rook takes d6. Okay, objectively black now has a normal position, but it has become more difficult to play. Rook takes c3. The computer holds the position after bishop c6. And he says, but here it's important to see the Zwischenzug. Okay, so it seems the line is equal for the computer. So after rook takes c3, he played e5. And here black makes a mistake, so you could pause the video, try to put yourself in black shoes and see what you would play. The best move for black is rook c4, and he gives a line, okay? He takes f6, g takes f6, and rook d1, and rook d4. Strange. What a strange situation. Sorry, I want to see because it's a little strange. He takes f6, g takes f6, rook d1, yes, rook d4, rook takes d4, c takes d4, and queen takes d4. And here it says, this is not a position a human player wants to enter, as it is not obvious how the king can be secure in the near future, and the rook is stranded on h8. But after e5, white has insufficient resources to develop the initiative. Okay. So let's return back. Let's keep in mind that there was also this, and we don't see it much, right? Okay, we return back to the position. It was like this, and this. e5, rook d6, bishop c, pawn c5. I think I put everything right. Yeah. So he played knight d5, and after bishop takes d5, he played queen a5, which is a mistake. It seems the best defense was rook a3. Boom, knows why. Because he wants to play rook takes g3. Wow. Interesting. He plays rook takes d7. Wow. An effective and resolute decision. Rook takes g3, obviously, like I just showed you. Let's see how he continues. Boom! Wow! Bishop g2. And black resign. A tense, although short game. Both players fought for the initiative. Black took material, white developed activity. Black did not choose the correct moment to return some of his gains. And here it says, and white's initiative developed into a decisive attack. Well, it was a beautiful game to watch, okay? So thank you for everything. I hope you will enjoy this book. chess coach. Clearly, a lot of stories that are worth reading, okay, for those that are interested in chess.